For some of you drama fiends out there that are like me and always looking for some new dramatic television, a little known super dramatic reality show on Netflix called Dubai Bling is starting its third season tomorrow. And I wanted to give a guide on all the drama that happened in the first two seasons and just give a guide on some of the characters because I really do enjoy it. And you might too, if you like drama like I do. Um, Even though this show is set in Dubai and it's a reality show, it gives me Spanish telenovela realness because the drama can be quite over the top, and some of these people are not afraid to be outlandish villains. But let's get into some of the drama. And just a side note, I'm going to butcher some of these names. I butcher English names all the time on this channel. So it should be no surprise I butcher these names. And also, I'm only going over the characters that actually have drama going on. Some of them don't bring a lot of drama. We'll start with some of the drama in season 1. Zeina is one of the main characters, I would say. And the first person she has some trouble with is Farhana. Farhana is rich and famous because she is a social media star. She is an influencer. And as someone that Zeina sees as fake and just trying to fake the rich lifestyle that is going on in Dubai. And it started when Farhana snubbed Zeina at an event. But that was just the start of the drama with Farhana. The bigger drama was with Alj. Alj in season 1 is depicted as a gold digger because when she was in her early 20s, she married a man that was old and rich. And 5 years into the marriage or so, I could be wrong on how long it was, but he died and now all of his money and estate has been left to Alj. We first see Alj on a blind date with Ebraheem, and it's not going well because she is not into Ebraheem whatsoever. And this is when Alj is depicted as just kind of a snooty gold digger. It's like Ebraheem isn't old enough to be a new husband for her. But why Alj and Farhana have beef is because they had an argument when Alj ended up posting some real text messages or supposed real text messages of Farhana on social media to show that Farhana just uses people for clout, basically. Farhana says that the text messages weren't real. They were played with and manipulated. They were fake. And Farhana refused to look at Alj when they were at an event. So this was one of the first big dramas of this season, this beef between Alj and Farhana. And Farhana, for a while, seemed to have beef with everyone. Ebraheem was one of the only people that stood behind her at first because Ebraheem had that crappy blind date with Alj and they were both talking shit about each other after that blind date. But then Alj and Ebraheem came close too, and Ebraheem seemed to eventually get Alj and Farhana to make up when he surprised them with a meeting to meet up with each other when they didn't know each other would be there. But Ebraheem is not a peacemaker whatsoever. Ebraheem was probably the biggest drama starter in season 1, if not season 2 as well. He is not afraid to be petty. He is not afraid to be a villain. And you will probably dislike him. But antagonists are what make this show. Now, his partner in crime ended up being Dinah. And Dinah is married to some DJ Bliss fella who's supposedly famous, but we'll talk a little bit more about DJ Bliss when we talk about season 2 here in a few minutes. But what happened was that at a dinner, when everyone is kind of gathered around talking shit about Farhana, Ebraheem is also there. And Ebraheem goes away from the dinner to call Farhana to let her know that everyone is talking shit about her, basically. And that Zeina is one of those people because Zeina pretends like she's not in everyone's business. And I like Zeina. She's probably one of my favorites on the show, but she is always in everyone's business. And she is and quite a hypocrite. She can be quite a hypocrite. And these were one of those occasions. Zeina and her BFF, Safa, which we'll get more into Safa here in a bit too, but they eventually go to Ebraheem's workplace. He owns a coffee place, basically. Coffee and roses. He owns a rose company too, I believe. But they go to his coffee shop and confront him about it. And Ebraheem is kind of in the right here. I mean, he considers Farhana his friend, and he wanted to tell her what everyone was saying about her. But Farhana took that personally and started being very petty with Zeina. Now, Ebraheem did not like Zeina and Safa coming into his workplace and causing a bit of a ruckus, so he wanted to get revenge. And Ebraheem and Dinah are very good friends, despite Dinah being married to DJ Bliss. Not that it's weird to have a friendship of the opposite sex. In fact, I think quite the opposite. I think it can be possible, but them calling each other bestie all the time is a bit weird to me. But they are supposed besties, although the only reason they started calling themselves besties is after an incident they had at Zeina's work. Ebraheem wanted revenge on Zeina for coming into his workplace, so he went to her workplace where she is a CEO of a realtor company. Ebraheem makes a big show about how she's just a CEO and not the owner of the company, while he owns his own company, so he wants to buy her company so that he could be her boss. It was kind of just a petty thing to do. I don't think he was actually serious. I don't know if he even has the money to buy that said company. But what ends up happening, though, is Dinah is there, and Dinah has a cup of coffee, and during the confrontation, Dinah ends up kind of throwing the coffee all over Zeina. Shukran. Dinah's defense is that Zeina went for the coffee first, so she just threw it on Zeina. But I think Ebraheem and Dinah were definitely in the wrong during that confrontation, but I did enjoy the pettiness of it all. That was definitely the biggest drama of the series so far, in my opinion, because it was them at Zeina's workplace throwing coffee on her, kind of trying to humiliate her. And Dinah's husband, DJ Bliss, tried to go to Zeina to kind of be a go-between, but not really. He still stuck up for his wife more so, in my opinion. And there's another character I'm not going to get into much because he's not dramatic. Chris, who is actually a famous DJ in Australia and Dubai. He did not end up inviting Bliss and Dinah to his big wedding at the end of season 1 when he invited every other cast member. So that made me think that DJ Bliss and Dinah are actually very problematic people, because why would he not invite them to the wedding? Mostly Ebraheem allegedly tried to make up with Zeina at the end of season 1, but she wasn't having it. And that's what led to a lot of drama in season 2. We have to circle back to Safa, though, who is, in the first season, shown as just being a bratty wife of her husband. Fahad is his name, her husband. She's trying to get Fahad to get them a new, bigger house because they're running out of room in their house. And she's kind of using blackmail on her own husband it's like the only way she'll have another kid is if she gets a bigger house. I thought Safa was super irritating in season 1, but the more she came out of her, she didn't have a shell whatsoever, but the more she came out and showed her personality in season 2, she was less bratty and more funny in season 2. She was funny in season 1 too, but she was just very irritating with the way she was so bratty with her husband. Just very immature for her age at the time, I would say. The big story of season 2 is that Ebraheem went to Safa. They had like this secret meeting, and both Zeina and Dinah didn't know about it because, those four are supposed to be on opposite sides and hate each other. Safa was keeping that a secret, and when LJ ended up telling Zeina at one of Safa's events. That caused one of the big dramas of season 2. Safa wanting revenge on Aljay. But Zeina was hurt because Zeina, as much as I do like her, she's a bit like Nene Leakes that I talk about in Real Housewives of Atlanta with Q, who likes to have alliances on this show, I find. And if you're not super like 100% loyal to Zeina, she might hold a grudge about that. Eventually, Zeina and Safa did make up during the season, but the drama did not stop between Zeina and Ebraheem. One of my favorite moments of season 2 was those two getting into it again. When those two are going at it, it's the best part of each season because it's just Ebraheem becomes a supervillain every time they have a confrontation. And Zaina's husband was sticking up for her in this situation. But during that confrontation, Ebraheem is like, he has his hair dyed green for reasons I don't know. But it looks like he has Joker hair, which is why I said these people not afraid to put on a show when they're being a villain on this show. It is very telenovela-esque. During that confrontation, I don't even remember at this point why they had another fight, but I know that Zeina was still hurt because at one point Ebraheem called her a bitch, and all Ebraheem's defense was, what is bitch? As in, what is a bitch? Why are you so offended by the word bitch? I thought it was ridiculous, but when he's sitting there in his Joker hair saying, what is bitch, as a defense, it was very hilarious. The biggest growth in season 2 was Dinah, who was a big villain along. She was like the sidekick to Ebraheem in season 1. But she had a lot of personal growth in season 2. Her and DJ Bliss were having issues because she wanted to go out and have her own kind of new job because their kids are getting older, and DJ Bliss seemed a little jealous of that because both DJ Bliss and Dinah throughout both seasons are very insecure people, and they come across as an insecure couple. DJ Bliss seems very insecure with his relationship with Chris, who I mentioned a little bit. And according to the internet, Chris is actually famous in both Dubai and Australia. Nobody really knows who DJ Bliss is. So it seems as though DJ Bliss does feel some kind of way about his popularity compared to Chris's on the show. That was kind of DJ Bliss's storyline in season 2. Him trying to figure out why Chris doesn't fuck with him, basically. And I think why Chris doesn't fuck with him is because DJ Bliss is kind of an insecure baby. But Dinah, on the other hand, his wife, did grow and mature during this season. She had a really genuine conversation with Zeina, kind of getting Zeina's forgiveness. And I think it was so mature because Dinah didn't actually not just apologize, but beg for an apology from Zeina too. No, Dinah just apologized and hoped to move on from that situation with the coffee in season 2. The last thing I'll talk about in season 2 is Aljay I talked about her being a gold digger in season 1, but her storyline is that she didn't have a relationship with her mother, and finally they get her mother from America to come and visit her by the end of season 2. I found it kind of weird about that because season 1 had already aired. She didn't go and see Aljay during season 1. She finally comes during season 2. Did she just visit Aljay because Aljay's now on a Netflix show and now she could go visit her daughter and have that relationship? I don't know. The things that make you go, But yes, Dubai Bling season 3 starts tomorrow. By the preview, it's looking very dramatic. Once again, season 1 is more dramatic than season 2. I'm hoping season 3 brings the drama like season 1 did. But check it out because I'm probably going to talk about it on the channel because there's not a lot of other reality shows to talk about right now other than The Traitors.